Across the South Coast, live from Solent University, you're listening to Solent Sports News.
Good morning, it's 3 o'clock, I'm Cody Deadman and these are your Solent Sports News headlines. Starting off with the Premier League, struggling Southampton travelled to Stamford Bridge this evening to face Chelsea. Our correspondent, Owen Bolger, is on site to give us the team news.
Thank you very much. I'm talking to you live from Stamford Bridge, and I tell you what, looking around me, blue is certainly the colour. There's blue walls, blue phone boxes, even blue windows, and Chelsea fans have been feeling of late. They're very blue. They've lost 4 of their last 5, 3 in a row. But for the Saints, it's really not looking any brighter. They're bottom of the league, and really all their focus is on avoiding being the Premier League's worst team ever. Their team tonight won't feature Jan Bednarek. Manager Ivan Juric said it was nothing serious, but he won't play today. For Chelsea, they're without centre-back Trevor Chalobah. He went off early against Aston Villa. Tosin Adarabioyo is expected to replace him. Reece James is also meant to continue in midfield, and Sancho might come in on the wing. Whether that will make Southampton fans I spoke to earlier more or less confidence, well, we can only wait and see.
Thank you very much, Matthew. Southampton under-18s will be looking to progress in the semi-finals of the FA Youth Cup for the second time in 3 seasons. Saints travel to Vicarage Road tonight to face Watford after overcoming Derby County in the previous record with an impressive 4-1 win. Eastleigh will be looking to spur their promotion charge and continue their impressive run as they host Gateshead in the National League tonight. The Spitfires have won 3 on the bounce and can go within a single point of the playoff spots with a victory tonight. Here's Matt Gibbs on the matter at Eastleigh. Elsewhere in the National League, massive changes are being planned to the structure of the division. The 3-Up campaign proposes 3 promoted sides to League 2, as opposed to the current format which they feel limits the possibilities for lower level sides in England. Our reporter in the studio today is Sam Morley to discuss these changes and their implications. Hi Sam.
Hi, the 72 teams that make up the National League, including Eastleigh, have launched a new 3-Up campaign where they have written to the EFL demanding an increase in the amount of teams promoted from the National League and relegated from League 2. Experts and fans say this would benefit the English Pyramid because if you look in and around the National League promotion races, there's a lot of teams in there that I feel like could easily compete in League 2. This potential campaign would benefit Eastleigh as they often loom in and around the playoff and promotion races, so adding an extra team for promotion would help out their chances of going up to League 2 and into the Football League.
Thank you, Sam. Jose Mourinho has been accused of saying racist comments after the 0-0 draw of Galatasaray in Istanbul last night. Reporter Josh Richardson talks us through it. Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta says the Gunners are not giving up on the Premier League title. After a disappointing 1-0 defeat to West Ham on the weekend, Arsenal sit 11 points behind Liverpool with a game in hand. Arteta insists his side can catch up with the league leaders.
Mathematically it's possible. You are there, you have to play every game. Suddenly 3 days ago we could close the gap and you are like, you are 1.5 games away. It doesn't matter. We have to continue to go.
With the controversy surrounding the use of VAR this weekend at Goodison Park, our reporter Shay Lucas explored the opinions of experts, players and officials about its benefits and problems.
That is unbelievable. That is a bad one. Really, I mean, they said significant. That is very significant.
It's just a horrendous error. It's horrendous.
That's a horrendous one.
The feeling around VAR has ever been lower. I do really feel this is almost like a crisis point for VAR.
It will be a surprise to literally no one to hear that VAR is yet again a hot topic this season. The introduction of the video assistant referee has brought more chaos and confusion to the game we all love. Controversy around the technology occurs almost every week. Fans, managers and players are growing frustrated with the changes to the modern game. However, we never hear of the benefit it has for the officials. National League referee Harrison Blair believes the technology can support referees on the pitch.
It's a really good tool. I think the worst thing in the world as a referee is when you know you've made a mistake, and especially when it comes to one of those big match-changing decisions, whether that be a red card, a penalty, or something like that. So if there is a safety net or a backstop in place that allows you to rectify those sort of crucial and incorrect decisions on the day, and it means that the game isn't impacted by it and that people don't go home just talking about one decision, then I think that's a good thing.
Others question the decision of on-field referees when incorrect calls are made.
Hi there, this is Doogie Critchley from Sky Sports. Look, I think VAR gets a lot of unnecessary stick when people are blaming it for really individual mistakes from referees and a supposed lack of consistency, which is always going to be a byproduct of making calls about subjective decisions.
Former head of PGMOL, Keith Hackett, believes the inconsistencies around the clear and obvious rule are to blame.
Part now where there are times when VAR doesn't come in because they're hiding behind what is clear and obvious error. What is clear and obvious to you might not be clear and obvious to me, but I think we all know what clear and obvious is. He's missed the penalty, or he's missed a thump that the player needs a red card. Or, because refereeing, a lot of decisions are subjective.
Former England international Jay Bothroyd believes that having an ex-professional at Stockley Park would greatly benefit the process.
Fouls and them kind of decisions, I think it's still not good enough. And I always say I think it would really help if there was players involved in that, in the VAR room. Because ultimately I think when it comes to tackles and, intentional fouls, I think it's going to take people that have actually played the game to understand it.
Like it or loathe it, one thing's for sure, VAR isn't going anywhere.
Leeds United took a massive step in their promotion charge back to the Premier League last night. The Whites beat second-place Sheffield United 3-1 at Bramall Lane with 3 late goals. The win saw Leeds go 5 points clear at the top of the table and a further 7 points clear of the promotion places. Daniel Farker said that it was a tough, yet deserved result.
From minute 25 on, we started to play football, and then we dominated, gained more control. Deserved that we equalized and also won this game, but it was tough today against a good opponent. And we need also a little bit of luck in the decisive moments today, but nevertheless, the outcome is perfect.
After 6 years of struggle under Dai Yong, things may be getting better for Reading fans, as the club announced that they are in talks for an ownership takeover. However, the journey to reach this point hasn't been a smooth ride for the Royals. Harry McBain reports.
What does Songer, Ricky Gervais and Mike Ashley all have in common? They've all been linked with buying Reading Football Club. Things have been going wrong for the Berkshire side, with it nearly being 2 years since owner Dai Yong put the club up for sale, and fans are fed up with this ownership and the lack of sale.
What we want is some credible buyers to come in now that have the best interests of the club at heart.
He's despised more than any man in the entire county.
Just sell up for the good of the club. He has invested a lot of money, so there's a sympathy that he's invested a lot, maybe not wisely. So, the way it's gone and how he's left us in limbo and etc. has just not been acceptable.
But things may be about to change as the club announced on Monday evening that they have entered a period of exclusivity with a potential new owner, something journalist Andy Preston is covering live.
The inside information I've been getting from everyone is really positive. It seems that this deal is moving very quickly compared to others. Of course, we have to treat all of this with cautious optimism just because of the amount of times we've been burned before in the past. Of course, that all went wrong in the end and is now an absolute mess with a court case on both sides.
Fans are hopeful that this time things will be different and the club will finally get its guardian angel in the form of a new owner whose identity still remains unknown.
Well, we've been there before, haven't we? So what's this? Is this the third exclusivity situation? Yeah, I think we're all just a bit exhausted by it all, and seen it all before. So until it happens, we'll believe it when it happens.
I don't believe it. I'll believe it when I see it and it's official.
Well, it'll be good if it happens, but as I said, a lot of it, you're very pessimistic as a Reading fan at the moment because we have been in this position already twice and they've fallen through both times.
Until then, all Reading fans can do is sit, wait, and continue to back the team as their ownership saga rolls on. Harry McBain, Solent Sports News.
Last night in the NBA, the Denver Nuggets beat the Indiana Pacers 125-116. Nuggets and Serbia star Nikola Jokic provided a titanic 19 assists in what was a dominant display from the NBA's MVP. This is the first time that any player has reached this feat since Wilt Chamberlain in 1968, 57 years ago. Western Park Blades made history over the record-breaking crowd in their most watched match ever. Jessica Lee tells us more.
Sunday marked a historic moment for Western Park Blades Netball Club as they celebrated a record-breaking attendance of over 300 spectators. The atmosphere was electric. The crowd cheered with every pass, every goal, every defensive stop, though they faced a tough battle against top of the table Oldham, and despite losing, the unwavering support carried the Blades right through to the final buzzer. Some first-time Blades fans loved their experience.
It's my first ever netball game attending. I'm normally at football games rather than netball, but the atmosphere is so different. Everyone's a bit more cheery. No one's taking it as seriously as you do in football. No one's really angry. Everyone's always behind the team, supporting, cheering no matter what the score is.
They did lose, but that didn't dampen the spirits of the crowd at all. Especially being in the gym, and the sound definitely reflected more. It was really lovely to see how the staff and the team all worked so closely together and were so supportive of each other. I generally had a really enjoyable time.
Blades player Scarlett Williams soaked in the incredible noise from the gallery as supporters of all ages, waving banners, chanting and cheering, filled the venue.
It's really positive and encouraging going forward that netball for the South in this area has got such a large opportunity to have an audience, which is just amazing for netball. You can hear it from the sidelines. The roar of when a shot goes in, it makes all the difference.
The passion run deep, from the youngest players in the club's pathway to the Premier League squad competing at the highest level. With netball's popularity surging across the UK, this milestone could signal the beginning of something even bigger for Western Park Blades. Club president Sarah Waitman summed it up best.
Massive for us. It's the biggest thing to happen in our recent club history. This move to Solent represents a big step forward for netball in the South.
And as the final buzzer echoed through the arena, the excitement didn't fade. It only fueled the ambition of the club, and this record-breaking afternoon at the Solent Sports Complex may just be the start of something truly special.
Apologies for the inconvenience earlier. We've got Matthew Cook actually at Eastleigh. Matthew, what can you tell us about the situation?
Thank you, Cody. I'm here outside the Silver Lake Stadium ahead of tonight's National League clash between Eastleigh and Gateshead. Now, the Spitfires are enjoying a fine run of form, as you mentioned earlier, under manager Kelvin Davis, having won last year.
Apologies for that. We've actually got the press officer at Eastleigh, Matt Gibbs, and here's what he had to say.
Coming into today's game, 3 wins in a row before now, having only conceded 1 and having kept 2 clean sheets in our last 2 games at the Silver Lake, I feel like puts us in a really good patch, a really good spot. Obviously, Gateshead are a good side. They're higher up in the league than any of the teams we've faced in the last 3 games. So it'll be a tough test for us, but I think since we've had sort of Tyrese Shade back from suspension, he's scored sort of 3 goals in his last 3 games since he's been back, and that's been really sort of big for us, and it's really helped, and you can sort of see that by the results and how much better we look going forward on the pitch.
So that was Matt Gibbs and Matthew Cook. Are you able to hear us now? No, nothing from Matthew. Okay, no worries. So, into the world of boxing. Just this morning it has been revealed that a shot at fighting Argentinian great Canelo Alvarez is up for grabs, and it's Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. who are the 2 potential opponents gunning for this opportunity. A fight between the Brits was previously cancelled after Conor Benn failed 2 drugs tests back in 2022. They will finally be settling their long-running feud in the ring on April 26th at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Discussions of a potential fight between Anthony Joshua and Martin Piccoli has sparked excitement amongst the boxing community after the Congolese fighter stepped in for an ill Daniel Dubois on Saturday. Despite being knocked out by opponent Joseph Parker in the Saudi Arabian capital, Piccoli has been promised a big heavyweight matchup in May. Now over to the F1, where our motorsport reporter Evan Roberts gives us the lowdown of what to expect this week's testing.
Brand new season, brand new dawn for Formula One. It's the Bahrain Grand Prix, and it's lights out and away we go.
It's almost time to hear that iconic line once again, as we're only a fortnight away from the much anticipated season opener in sunny Melbourne. However, in F1, before racing, always comes testing, where this time tomorrow, all 10 teams will take to the track around the Bahrain International Circuit for the first time this season in an official session to see how things stack up.
It'll be interesting to see, I think, if they've dialed out the fundamental issues they've had with the RB20, and clearly if they do, Verstappen has to go into the championship as favourite, but right now I would say McLaren and Ferrari would be favourites, so I think testing will give us an idea of Red Bull are back.
The sport itself is coming towards the end of a regulation cycle, with new cars set to be introduced in 2026. What this means for this year's action is that you can expect some surprises, with a close battle expected up front, whilst those in the midfield look to prioritise the new regulations.
Hi, my name is Leah Halsey and I am a motorsport content creator and broadcaster for Joss Archer Motorsport and Fastest Pit Stop. I do recall James Vowles making a really interesting point when talking about Williams in particular, obviously with the introduction of Carlos into their team, is that they've completely scrapped their, they've not that they haven't focused on this year, but they're putting all their energy into next year's car.
Whilst some testing experiments have failed, there have been numerous times in the past where tricks and gimmicks have proved to be fruitful in pushing a team further up the order. Divebomb magazine head of F1 Carl Hilliard is looking forward to seeing what a Ferrari team fueled by the addition of 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton are able to do, as they appear to have made a raft of changes to the 2025 Challenger.
Particularly excited for Ferrari to see what they can do at testing. Their side pod design is quite interesting compared to last year, and hopefully for their sake they've a good car in their hands. But I think it's going to be very tight this season across the board. I think McLaren, Ferrari, Red Bull, even Mercedes, they're all pulling out all the stops to get the car on the right track. So I think it's going to be a very, very competitive season.
Will Lewis get his 8th, or will Max Verstappen make it a phenomenal 5 in a row? All that is yet to be revealed.
Well, certainly exciting news in the world of motorsport. But that's all from us now. I'll be back in an hour with our final show of the day. Remember, you can keep up to date 24 hours a day on our website, which is solentsportsnews.com. Thank you.